Session 130, 12th August 2022. Session 130, 12th August 2022. Quran, the Word of Allah, an elaboratory translation by ex-Brigadier Mustansar Billah. We continue with Surah Fatir, the 35th Surah of Quran, and with part 22. These will be the last two verses of Surah Fatir. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We begin with the name of Allah, who is most gracious and tremendously merciful. أَوْلَمْ يَسِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ فَيَنْظُرُوا كَيْفَ كَانَ عَاقِبَةُ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ وَكَانُوا أَشَدَّ مِنْهُمْ قُوَّةً وَمَا كَانَ اللَّهُ لِيُعْجِزَهُ مِنْ شَيْءٍ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَلَا فِي الْأَرْضِ إِنَّهُ كَانَ عَلِيمًا قَدِيرًا. 44. Verse 44. Haven't you gone around the world? Haven't you seen the ruins? What was the fate, the eventual end of those people, communities, societies heretofore? And you are just softies, soft-skinned, with 100 soft spots. Those people were a lot more rugged, robust, strong, and they couldn't fidget to save themselves. There is nothing in the skies nor in the earth that can reduce His functionality to the slightest, Allah's functionality to the slightest. He is the only one who knows all and everything He likes, prefers, who is the only one who knows all and everything He likes, prefers, all-powerful, all-overpowering. No so-called powerful people, nations have ever escaped His grip. وَلَا يُؤَاخِذُ اللَّهُ النَّاسَ بِمَا كَسَبُوا مَا تَرَكَ عَلَى ظَهْرِهَا مِنْ دَابَّةٍ وَلَكِنْ يُؤَخِّرُهُمْ إِلَى أَجَلٍ مُّسَمًّى فَإِذَا جَاءَ أَجَلُهُمْ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ بِعِبَادِهِ بَصِيرًا. 4-5. The last verse of Surah Fatir. And if Allah were to grip, penalize, retribute people there and then, strictly according to the gravity of their misdoings, misconduct, satanic deeds, there wouldn't be a soul left on earth. But Allah gives them a margin, latitude to reform, retreat, up to a laid down time, which He fixes and knows best. And when the fateful day of accountability arrives, they shall realize that Allah has been watching His people all along. That's the end of Surah Fatir. Now we begin with the 36th Surah of Quran, Surah Yasin, and continue with part 22. 36th Surah of Quran, Surah Yasin. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We begin with the name of Allah, who is most gracious and tremendously merciful. Yasin, Yasin, wal Quran al-Hakim. It is sworn by the Quran, the book of solid, unquestionable wisdom, that these double-dyed people who deny, refute your prophethood, O Muhammad, peace be upon him, are inherently and ominously wrong. إِنَّكَ لَمِنَ الْمُرْسَلِينَ. 3. I swear by the Quran, you are surely among the true prophets of Allah. They should have no doubts, misconceptions about it. Allah Siratim Mustaqim. 4. And you are absolutely on the straight, righteous, solid, praiseworthy, rewarding path, faith. Follow the Prophet, peace be upon him, all the time, everywhere, in all things, at all places and occasions. Follow the Prophet, peace be upon him, all the time, everywhere, in all things, at all places and occasions. Tanzeel al-Aziz al-Rahim. 5. Quran is also a sign, a proof, an evidence, a manifestation of your prophethood, for it has been downloaded by the mightiest of all. None can afford to disobey him, yet he is also extremely merciful. None can afford to disobey him, yet he is also extremely merciful. لِتُنذِرَ قَوْمًا أُنذِرَ آبَاؤُهُمْ فَهُمْ غَافِلُونَ. 6. You have been ordained a prophet, O Muhammad, and the Quran sent down, so that you warn, imbibe people with fear of Allah, whose forefathers have not been warned directly by any messenger, so they are heedless. لَقَدْ حَقَّ الْقَوْلُ عَلَىٰ أَكْثَرِهِمْ فَهُمْ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. 7. You will definitely endeavor to make them fear the ramifications of their evil deeds and doings. But, in fact, the word has been proved true against a majority of these people who are arrogant. They'll not be shaken up. They'll not listen. So, they do not believe, will not adopt the true faith. So, they do not believe, will not adopt the true faith, the truth. Inna jalna fi anaqihim aghlalan fahiya ila rizqani fahum muqmahun. 8. They have lost all their perceptions. We have put a yoke around their necks of diabolic habits and customs, blind love for power and wealth, adherence to abominable traditions and rituals of their forefathers, which have tightened the noose around their necks up to the chins, which has tightened the noose around their necks up to the chins. And because of the iron rods of pride and arrogance in their necks, their heads are fixed upwards, that they cannot see even their own selves anymore. وَجَعَلْنَا مِنْ بَيْنِ أَيْدِيهِمْ سَدًّا وَمِنْ خَلْفِهِمْ سَدًّا فَأَغْشَيْنَاهُمْ فَهُمْ لَا يُبْصِرُونَ. 9. Apart from the fact that majority of these people cannot look at themselves, they can't even see the straight path or reach the truth in any way from any direction. And so we have raised in front of them and behind them and on their top on their heads, in fact, all around, walls, barriers of their own absolutely jaundiced, prejudiced, false perceptions, and blind alleys based totally on the ignorance of their forefathers and their own blindness as a bat. So they cannot see, they can't perceive, understand anything at all. They can't perceive, understand anything at all. وَسَوَاءٌ عَلَيْهِمْ أَأَنذَرْتَهُمْ أَمْ لَمْ تُنذِرْهُمْ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. 10. And because of their own barriers of perverse orientation, arrogance, whether you admonish them or you don't, it is non-consequential, immaterial, and irrelevant for them. They would not believe. إنما تنذر من اتبع ذكر وخشي الرحمن بالغيب فبشره بمغفرة وأجر كريم. 11. So you can only admonish, warn, be effectual with the perceptive, those who follow the reminder and who fear the exceedingly merciful, his punishment hereafter, without having seen him. Those who fear the exceedingly merciful, his punishment hereafter, without having seen him, and his hell, without having seen his hell as well. So convey to such people the glad, great tidings of forgiveness and an honorable, generous reward. And for those who fear Allah, the word of Allah, Quran, bequeathed, left by the Prophet, peace be upon him, is a good enough imam, guide, and the required beacon light. And the words of Allah, Quran, bequeathed, left by the Prophet, peace be upon him, is a good enough imam, beacon, and the required beacon light. Inna nahnu nuhyil mauta wa naktubu ma qaddamu wa atharahum wa kulla shay'in ahsaynahu fi imamin mubin. 1-2. Those who do not fear Allah may appear to go unpunished apparently, but they would inevitably be dealt with. For definitely it is we, and how could anyone else be, who would exhume, dig out, raise the dead, calcinated, powdered bones into life, and we record, preserve precisely to the minuscule all the deeds sent ahead, and also the imprints, the evil left behind, and also the imprints, the evil left behind. And we have counted, saved, registered, endorsed everything, every event in an explicit, elaborate, master, honorable code. وَاضْرِبْ لَهُمْ مَثَلًا أَصْحَابَ الْقَرْيَةِ إِذْ جَاءَهَا الْمُرْسَلُونَ. Verse 1-3. We maintain an ordinal record of every organelle, every nucleus, and a chronological imprint of every event. So, O Prophet, peace be upon him, like you are in full bloom for these people, quote them as an example, the episodes of the people of the village, a town, to whom our messengers were dispatched. إذ أرسلنا عليهم اثنين فكذبوهما فزدنا بثالث فقالوا إنا إليكم مرسلون. 1:4. When initially we sent two apostles to them, they belied them. The people belied them. Then we reinforced them with the third apostle. The three apostles said, "We have come to you as messengers for your guidance." The three apostles, prophets said, "We have come to you as messengers for your guidance." قالوا ما أنتم إلا بشر مثلنا وما أنزل الرحمن من شيء إن أنتم إلا تكذبون. 1:5. As the pagans have done now, they said, retorted, spouted with effrontery, rudeness, "You are nothing but simple human beings as we are." And the exceedingly kind has ordained, sent down nothing. You are all just lying. قالوا ربنا يعلم إنا إليكم لمرسلون. 1:6. They, the apostles, said, "Our Rabb knows that we have indeed been sent to you as prophets. He is our witness." وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ الْمُبِينُ. 1:7. And you double-dyed rogues, you evil people, let us tell you all that our only duty is just to convey, elucidate his message plainly. Our only duty is just to convey, elucidate his message plainly. قالوا إنا تطيرنا بكم لئن لم تنتهوا لنرجمنكم ولا يمسنكم منا عذاب أليم. 1:8. Continuing to heckle, harass with rude remarks, they, the people, replied, "We have found you three to be hoodoos, have brought ill fortune for us. If you don't desist from preaching, we'll stone you to death, or you'll suffer a torturous punishment at our hands." قالوا طائركم معكم أن ذكرتم بل أنتم قوم مسرفون. 1:9. They, the apostles, replied, "You numbskulls, stupid people, your ill fortune, your hoodoo is intrinsic to you, your own ill doings, evil deeds. You have become hoodlums, rude, wacky, crazy, and violent. Do you call us hoodoos just because you are being admonished? We have elucidated the right path to you. Indeed, you are a people who have organically, blatantly overstretched, crossed all limits, and have become organs of the evil." وَجَاءَ مِنْ أَقْصَى الْمَدِينَةِ رَجُلٌ يَسْعَىٰ قَالَ يَا قَوْمِ اتَّبِعُوا الْمُرْسَلِينَ. 2:0. Meanwhile, a man who came to know about the ruthlessness of these cursed people, intending to kill the apostles, came running from a far-flung corner of the city, and in an effort to convince his people said, "Follow the path of the apostles," and in an effort to convince his people said, "Follow the path of the apostles." أَتَّبِعُوا مَنْ لَا يَسْأَلُكُمْ أَجْرًا وَهُمْ مُهْتَدُونَ. 2:1. This man, Habib, said, "Follow the path of such people who do not ask for any returns." This is the last verse of this part of the part 22. This man, Habib, said, "Follow the path of such people who do not ask for any returns. They are absolutely honest and selfless, sincere, devoted, and above all, they are on the righteous path, faith, and above all, they are on the righteous path, faith." Now we begin with part 23 and continue with Surah Yasin. Part 23. وَمَا لِيَ الْعَبْدُ الَّذِي فَطَرَنِي وَإِلَيْهِ تُرْجَعُونَ. Surah Yasin, verse 22. And this man scorned at them, saying, "I have no reason that I shouldn't worship the one who has created me, and to him you will all return." And this man scorned at them, saying, "I have no reason that I shouldn't worship the one who has created me, and to him you will all return." And the last verse for today, أَتَّخِذُ مِن دُونِهِ آلِهَةً أَن يُرِدْنِ الرَّحْمَنَ بِضُرٍّ لَا تُغْنِ عَنِّي شَفَاعَتُهُمْ شَيْئًا وَلَا يُنْقَذُونَ. Verse 23. How disgraceful it would be to forego my Rabb. Should I leave him and worship others, demigods who are so impotent that if the Rabb wants to punish me, their recommendation proves useless, and neither do they have any power to get me off the hook, and neither do they have any power to get me off the hook. That's all for today. Please pray for me. Ex-Brigadier Mustansar Billah.